Well, missed all the highlights. I apologize for that, and it's my own. Want to talk to us? You can call the show 773-672-3208. That's 773-672-3208. I knew I had the level up wrong. Lots to get into this morning. The Nationals are 2 wins away from a world championship. Unbelievable. And I can't trip. I can't trip one way or the other because I'm happy that the Astros and the Nationals are in the World Series. The best teams made it to the World Series, which is a rarity. And the Nationals took care of business. They're the best team in ball right now. They've won 8 in a row in the playoffs, equaling the 04 Red Sox who won a title and the 05 White Sox who won a title. So it seems since they won 8 in a row, they just might take care of things this weekend. Let's pick things up in the first inning. 1-0 Nationals. Anthony Rendon steps up to the plate.
And the 0-2, swing and a fly ball left field. Moving back, Brantley turns to play it off the Crawford boxes, and it bounces away from him. Field. Turner scores. Eaton around third. He's coming home. Without a play, he slides across the plate as Correa, the shortstop, has the ball in shallow left center field. On a booming double by Tony Two Bags. His 5th two-base hit of the postseason. He drives 8th and 9th runs of the postseason. Anthony Rendon with his first ever World Series hit has the Nationals on the board at the top of the first inning. It's Washington 2 and Houston 0.
Move later on into the 4th inning. After Alex Bregman tied the game at 2, Kurt Suzuki says, I'll handle. There it is. Kurt Suzuki says, I'll handle this.
Here's the 1-0. Swinging a long drive, left field. He's got one now. Kurt Suzuki gives the Nationals lead. That one above the Crawford boxes.
And I said,
Kurt Suzuki's first career postseason home run. And the Astros 3-2 here in the 7th inning.
Oh, there was more. Howie Kennedy, the LCS MVP, wanted a piece of the action.
Here's the next pitch. Swinging a ground ball left side. It's off to Bregman. He hurries and can't. All hands are safe and a run will score. Bregman to his left, boots the ball, couldn't pick it up. Robles crosses the plate, and the Nationals add to their lead. It's 4-2.
As Drupal Cabrera steps up to the plate to continue the 7th inning onslaught.
He delivers. Swinging a line drive, base hit, field. Turner will score. Soto to the plate, and he will score. As Drupal Cabrera drives home 2. The Nationals have scored. Top of the 7th, they lead Houston 6-2 here at Minute Maid Park.
Oh, but
as Drupal Cabrera, RBIs 3 and 4 in the postseason. That's a clutch 2-out hit for Asdrubal Cabrera.
And Brian Zimmerman says, anything you can do, Asdrubal, I can copy.
3-2 to Zimmerman. Swinging a chopper third base side. Tough chance coming in. Bregman bare hands the ball to throw to first. Throws it away. Here comes the second run. He'll score. Zimmerman goes to second. Nobody there. And the throw is not in time with Cabrera scoring behind Kendrick. It's a single and an error, and the Nationals lead 8-2. Zimmerman ends up at second on the play with his second swing hit of the night. Bregman throws it away, allowing Cabrera to score, and Zimmerman to take second. 6 runs home in the inning, and Presley's going to be taken out.
Well, he was taken out, but it's a little too late. I'm sorry for the incorrect graphic on the screen. Adam Eaton adds to the bunch.
Last time up, laid down a sacrifice bunt in the 6-run 7th, and swings and drives one to deep right, toward the line, way back. It is gone. Goodbye. A line shot. 2-run home run for Adam Eaton, speeding around the bases. Just to slow down, he's going to catch Victor Robles to the plate. Adam Eaton points to the Nationals cheering section. Well, the family and friends are sitting up behind third base. It's a 2-run home run for Adam Eaton. Bang! Zoom goes Adam Eaton, putting the Nationals in double figures and unleashing the plague of locusts, sending these Astros fans to the exits. Here in Game 2 of the World Series in the top of the 8th with 1 out, it's the Nationals 10 and the Astros 2.
It got even more unreal later on.
And now the pitch. Swing and a drive in the air to right center field. Springer will not get to it. It's a base hit. Plays it on a hop. Soto around third comes in to score. Kendrick hustles to third. And Asdrubal Cabrera has his second hit and 3rd run batted in of this game. As the line continues, the conga line, the dance line of the Nationals dugout. Another run home. Runners on first and third here at the top of the 8th inning. It's now Washington and Houston 2.
They weren't done having fun. Michael A. Taylor, you're next.
Here's Michael Taylor to get his first World Series at bat and swings and belts one high and deep to left center field. This is way back. This one is going, and gone. Goodbye. Zoom goes Michael Taylor on the first swing of his career in a World Series game.
Man, 12-3 the final. The Nationals now lead 2-0. Yikes. But when you play the hottest team in the major, you play the team that's in front of you. I can't complain about what the Nationals are doing. I've been a Nats fan since 2012, quite honestly. And since they've knocked out the Dodgers, I've stayed on that bandwagon. And I don't care what anybody says, including my good friend Jonathan Mathis. The Nationals are the best team in the National League because they're playing in the World Series. The Dodgers aren't. The Astros are the best team in the American League because they knocked out the New York Yankees, who were supposedly the best team in the league. But the Astros have got some problems. The Astros have got some serious problems because their two best have been knocked out. And I'm talking about during the course of the game. Their two best pitchers were jumped. Okay? Game 1 was a close game, 5-4. The Astros had a chance to come back and win that. But after Kurt Suzuki's home run that was given up by Verlander in the 7th inning, all bets were off and popping after that. And unbelievably, the Nationals have a 2-0 lead over the best team in the majors. Well, that's why you play the games. I'm loving it. Now, I will bring up this piece of history. The Boston Red Sox took a 2-0 lead after snatching the first 2 in New York, and the second game was a blowout. Mets wound up coming back to win that series in 7 games. This is after the Red Sox took 2 of 3 in Boston, led 3-2. We all know what happened in Game 6, and we all know what happened in Game 7. So don't count the Astros out yet. But I'll tell you what, the Nationals are making it look so easy. So easy. And if they win it all, I'm going to have some championship gear. The team that wins, I'm going to get the championship gear. And I'm going to hang it up here in the studio. Okay? It may take me a while to get it, but I'm going to get it. And I'm going to hang it up here in the studio as part of the backdrop. That's something my wife and I are working on, the backdrop to the studio, now that we got it set up right. But the Nationals are up 2-0. Going back to D.C., Game 3 is Friday in the nation's capital. First time since 1933 that the nation's capital will see a World Series game. And if all goes right, they'll only see 2 of them because the Nationals will win Games 3 and 4, and they'll sweep the series. But if Houston's bats come out swinging, they may see all 3 in Washington, D.C. And keep this in mind, folks. This will not be the time you'll see the Nationals in the World Series. Bank on it. Just plain bank on it. This will not, and I'll say it again, this will not be the first time you will see the Washington Nationals in the World Series. Y'all may think I'm crazy, but crazy when I picked them to beat the Dodgers. Shame on you. Catch the podcast every day at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on your favorite app, including Stitcher, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Anchor, and iHeartRadio. Break, and when y'all get back, you'll hear the voice of the man in charge of the Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. What the hell does he have to say? A lot. You'll hear it in a moment. Snowman in the morning, back in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning, where true sports talk lives.
Excellent.
Man, we're on this Thursday, this tripped out Thursday morning edition of Snowman in the Morning, and it's good to be back with y'all. I got my work schedule figured out. Do the show every day. Go out, make sure bills are paid while we build this up. And if y'all want to be a part of this, you can become a patron. The Patreon page will be released tomorrow. And we want to get as many people on to Patreon because that's where I will put some exclusive content, very exclusive content. Speaking of which, joining me right now is the man in charge of the Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. As I found out a year ago, he's a 49er faithful like I am. Please welcome Marquette Sutton. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? How's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. I'm grabbing me some cereal. I said, well, as soon as I grab some cereal, he gonna call. But it's all good, man. You can't miss opportunities like this.
You know what? I had to grab some before I came on the air, okay? How you been? It's been a while since I had you on.
Listen, man, it is an honor. I'm on your show, so later, or hopefully this week we can hook up so you can come on my show.
Done.
You know, anytime my 49ers are undefeated, man, it's a good day.
You know what? It's so ridiculous that people are still sweeping the 49ers under the rug, saying, who did they beat? Never mind the fact that we crowned Cleveland 31-3. Never mind the fact that during the first game of the year, we equaled interceptions from last year and now have exceeded that 4 times over. Continue to sweep us under the rug. We're going to be fine. And when we're busy crowned NFC West champions, some folks will have nothing. I'm loving it.
I just want to beat the Seahawks by 40, and that'll be even better. That's it.
You are thinking the same way I am. I hope. Listen, nothing. Let me just say this honestly. One 49er fan to another. I hope Richard Sherman picks off Russell Wilson 4 times.
Me too. Me too. And you got to get sacked at least twice, and then that will make my day.
That'll be Nick Bosa's job.
He better.
That'll be Nick Bosa's job. But let's look at this week. The 49ers have a big test coming up with the Carolina Panthers and Christian McCaffrey.
I really want to see what Jimmy G is going to do. Adding Emmanuel Sanders. I think that, he probably won't be too productive. He got to learn a playbook, get the team chemistry. But it is going to be a big test. And, I think as long as we create pressure, I don't think that Kyle Allen's seen pressure like us this year.
No.
I think it's going to be really tough.
No one has seen. People remember the 49ers of the past 2-3 years when we were so injury-riddled we couldn't play defense.
We play that dumb 3-4. I hate the 3-4. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
That 3-4 has left a lot to be desired. But now, with 4 first-rounders on the front line, the addition of D Ford to add some pressure, I've never seen him. I've been a 49er fan since '81. Okay, so I've seen Ronnie Lott. I've seen Dan Buns. I've seen Dana Stubblefield and the way they play defense.
Ken
Norton Jr. Yes.
Warren,
yes.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Keena Turner. Okay. Michael Walter. Can I go there a little bit?
Oh man, you taking it back, man. You taking it back, man.
Listen, how about this name, Pierce Holt?
Ooh. Come on, man.
He wreaked havoc in the NFC West for years, man. Man, Pierce Holt, Matt Millen, Pete Kugler, those have got to be proud of these guys playing real 49er defense. And Christian McCaffrey's going to have a problem come Sunday afternoon.
I agree, man. I agree.
Now, I read something this morning, and I know I'm going to get you riled up with this.
Uh-oh.
I think you and I commented on the same post when there was something put out about the Packers being the biggest threat to the Patriots, wrong answer.
Well, listen, man. I like to take the high road, okay? I like to put everybody at ease. I want everybody to be off kilt and think that the Niners are not. Right now.
I love it.
Now, I will say, because of Aaron Rodgers' track record, because Aaron Rodgers being that bad man, he is a threat. Say that because he knows how to get to that defense. He knows how to make plays happen because he's a savvy vet.
Yes,
now,
that he is.
On the other side of the ball, not so much. But I want everybody to take their focus off my Niners. Go ahead. That's what you believe. Cool. When we play the Green Bay Packers, you're going to see us get faster, better. Our chemistry is going to get better. I don't want anybody jumping on a bandwagon but us and real Niners fans. So, yes, the Green Bay Packers are a threat to the Patriots. There we go.
You know what? I can't wait till January when everybody sees the 49ers in the playoffs and they're going, what the hell are they doing here?
Right.
Ready to kill? Okay. And Jimmy Garoppolo goes, folks, be patient. You got one of the best play callers in Kyle Shanahan leading him, okay? He's still working his way back from a horrific injury. Has he gotten better? Yes. Has he had some silly turnovers this year? Yes. But it's Jimmy Garoppolo's real first full season as a starter. But for him to come out 11-2 as a starter and still needing to get better, I'll take that all day long.
And you know what? I was one of those proponents. I was like, what is he doing? Why doesn't he do this, that, and the third? But after watching the game Sunday, which I was at, by the way, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes, but he is also gutsy.
Yes.
For example, I like to use this term. Alex Smith played not to lose, where Kaepernick played to win.
Yes.
And it's a big difference. Jimmy G is playing to win.
That he is.
So if he said, listen, I only need 95 yards passing to win, so if I got to run, so be it. He also, if I got to take a sack, I'd rather you take a sack than an interception. But you will always live to fight another play.
And that's the big difference with Jimmy Garoppolo this year coming back from an injury. He's playing to win, like you said, and to find another down. Okay? I will not sell the Carolina Panthers defense short, but they're going to have some problems with this 49er offense of Sanders. And you're right. It's going to take Sanders a couple of weeks to learn this offense. But there are two rookie receivers that the 49ers have that are working their way back from injury. Jalen Hurd and Deebo Samuel that later on are going to cause some problems.
And I agree with you. But also, one factor that the NFL has been missing and that we have picked is a running game.
Yes.
We have
Breida
four
the
backs. We have four backs who can get it done. You know, and that's the beauty. That's the beautiful thing about the NFL. And I think that the running is a dying art because people want to pass. But when you are getting bullied and someone's grinding out on you by running the ball, you feel so defeated. And that's what we have been doing. And then also, you know, we've been having Breida out there in slot. It's so much. You just basically pick your poison. And that's what I love about the 49ers offense. And that's what I love what Shanahan is doing. He is so old school, but at the same time, he's mixing it up. And he's playing football. Simple.
He really is.
And that's what I like about it.
And who's his father? Mike Shanahan. What did Mike Shanahan do in 1994? Only lead the best offense to the Super Bowl.
I mean, you know, Mike stayed with a running back. I mean, geez, they always had a running back in Denver.
Yeah, they did, man. I mean, whatever offense Mike Shanahan coached, they always had a running back. And there are two of them with the 49ers that get the bulk of the carries, Tevin Coleman and Matt Breida. And you and I have been friends long enough in the 49ers camp. I'm talking about Breida as an undrafted, free agent. I was on that bandwagon the moment he walked into the Bay. I knew he would be a great pickup for the 49ers. It just took a while because he had to battle some injuries. The 49ers had to get their act together in the front office and then figure out, hey, we got to have an offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Now look at Breida the Cheetah.
Well, I love it because also, if you look in Atlanta when he was offensive coordinator, he did the same 1-2 punch with Freeman and Coleman.
Yes.
And that's helped Matty Peanut Butter. Matty Choke. Matt Ryan. I'm sorry. That's what helped Matt Ryan because he didn't have to worry about what do I do now. I'm going to hand the ball off, and I could dump it off to a safety valve. So that helped him out a lot. So now, not to mention, we don't even have our starting running back.
No.
So I think it's probably going to get traded next year because he just can't stay healthy.
Right.
But again, we're using second. Not I'm gonna say it in my LeBron voice, and I know you hate it. Not 2, not 3, not 4, but our 5th running back. I mean, come on, man. Hey, man, beautiful thing.
It is indeed. Marquette Sutton, the man in charge of the Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. Tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me on Facebook, Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. Also on Twitter, Real DSTM1. Instagram, Real DSTM. And also you can go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are sold. You can click on Professional Sutton, Don't Shoot the Messenger.
It's a pleasure to have you back on the show, my friend.
You too, man. It's definitely a pleasure being up here.
All right. I will talk to you soon. Thanks, man.
Take care.
Oh, man. Marquette Sutton, the man in charge of the Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. I've had a chance to listen to it. It's a wonderful, wonderful podcast. And speaking of which, I have another guest on the line. This is Thomas Murphy, in charge of One Boston Place. How are you, my friend?
Great. How you doing, bud? Thanks for asking me on.
It's a pleasure to have you on. Okay, the Patriots are the 49ers are 6-0. We know the attention the Patriots are getting. Why aren't the 49ers getting the same amount of attention?
2 reasons. Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Before.
Yeah, this is true.
They've done this again.
Yeah,
they're going back down the trail, and people are asking whether or not they can 16-0. Nobody's thinking that San Francisco can go 16-0.
Yeah.
Although, we're really happy for the guys. We're glad that trade's working out for them.
Mm-hmm. This is where I laugh because the 49ers are keep getting swept under the rug. I know they got a big challenge coming up this weekend with Carolina, whereas y'all get the Cleveland Browns, and we know how that's going to go. But I'm liking it. I'm liking being swept under the rug because when we're crowned NFC West champion and we get to January before any other team in the West Division does, I'm happy.
Well, first I want to applaud you for facing we. It's great that this comes out, and we all know that you're a fan, and you don't hide it at all.
Nope.
Some people try to hide it, man, and you just embrace it. It's just fantastic. But no, it is impressive, and you are going to be crowned champions out there. There's absolutely no doubt about it. People talk about the strength of schedule, and as of right now, I mean, I think the NFC West is a tad bit tougher than it is in the AFC East.
Yes.
Although I think I've mapped out in West how misleading that is when people say that the Patriots always have an easy road. When you look at the standings throughout the league, the first, second, and third place standings in each division in both leagues, NFC and the NFC and the AFC conference are virtually the same. You get change at the top, but second and third place, there's usually the same win-loss records all around. It's really difficult. So unless you want to just float somebody into New England every Sunday who's at the top of the power rankings, I really don't see how you would fix this by moving the Patriots anywhere else.
No.
But no, it is impressive. I love what they're doing out there. You've got a fantastic coach, a good young quarterback. But quite frankly, the best is yet to come for this young team. You guys just made a great acquisition, I thought. Unfortunately, Thomas is not under contract for another year,
Yeah.
which is why the Patriots were so enamored with Sanu, because they would have him under control for at least one more season. And but no, good things out there. Your defense is completely legit. We'll see how things shake out with this offense. I think if I was going up against the Niners, my first order of business would be to stop the run. With the trade they just made, that changes things just a little bit. Gives Jimmy somebody to throw the ball to that knows the system that they're running out there.
And also, they have two outstanding rookies who are injured right now. Deebo Samuel heard out of Baylor. When they get healthy, that's going to increase the number of weapons that Garoppolo has to throw to. But the acquisition of Sanders really gives him a target, a side of Kittle, a side of Breida to throw to that's a speed burner, and B, can get you some yards after the catch.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all about the yak and the way that this system runs. It's almost a West Coast style system. It's almost a Patriot style system, where getting the ball out quick and allowing your wide receivers or your running backs coming out of the backfield to actually move the chains for you, to know where they need to be. And if they're there and Jimmy hits them where he should be doing it, there's going to be room after the catch for them to rack up some yak.
This comparison in terms of Emmanuel Sanders, and I know I'm going to take it back in the day, but does anyone remember the name of John Taylor?
Oh, sure do. Of course I do. Man should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know why the man is not in the Hall of Fame.
Can I get a witness? John,
Amen.
I've said this for years. John Taylor should be in the Hall of Fame. He's got 3 Super Bowl titles. He caught a game-winning Super Bowl touchdown from Mr. Montana, okay? He's the only receiver in Monday Night Football history with not one but 2 90-yard catches, 90-yard touchdown catches in the same game. That was 1989 against the Los Angeles Rams. And while we're talking about folks that should be in the Hall of Fame, and I know I'm gushing about I've been a fan since 81, I'll throw you another name that should be in the Hall of Fame. His name is Roger Craig.
That's right. You will get no arguments from me, my friend, and that is not just because I want to be asked back on the show. The two names that are synonymous with one of the biggest dynasties in the history of, not just the NFL, in the history of sports, and they are afterthoughts when people come down and say it. Joe Montana had some of the best weapons that have ever walked the face of the earth in football pads at his disposal for most of his career. It wasn't just Jerry Rice out there. He had other help. He had some fantastic ball players. Some for just a couple of years, but some that were there for almost the entire run. And you just mentioned 2 of them that are right there at the top of any pyramid, that any football player coming up would want to have the career of, and 2 guys that should be in Canton.
What does the move? Let's take a peek at the Patriots. What does the move for Mohamed Sanu do for the Patriots passing attack?
It makes it more versatile. They're unfortunately going to release Josh Gordon as soon as he comes off of his injury designation. Really sure that's a deep story, and I'm not going to put a ladder down into that hole and climb into it. Coming up a little dirty. But what he does is it makes them more versatile. He can side a lot more than Josh does. He likes to block more than Josh does. It makes them younger. It makes them deeper. It makes them set going forward also, because Josh would have been an unrestricted free agent at the end of this year. But no, it makes I want to say a little more dependable, because the guy miss games. I mean, ever. He's always out there, and it brings a little swag. He's got a little swag to his game, and that's something that this offense at least at the wide receiver position, was lacking a little bit. You know, it's one thing when Julian Edelman is chirping at you, this little chipmunk that just runs up and just catches everything.
Yeah.
But you kind of chuckle a little bit, and but no, it brings a little swag to it as well. He's going to definitely open up things for the running game a little bit, because it gives another. There's another person out there that the second level, the linebackers are really going to have to worry about. There's going to be a need to put one or even two people on him to keep him out of the end zone and off the scoreboard. For you fantasy folks out there, he's going to move the chains. So that's going to open up things for the likes of Sony Michel, for the likes of James White. There's going to be a little more room for them to work. And also, those sweeps that Josh McDaniels is just fallen in love with, those little sweeps. I refuse to say the word JETS, so I just say sweeps. We spell it here in this house. And so
y'all got them, and we have the Seahawks and the Rams, and to an extent back in the day the Cowboys. Do I need to explain that?
Right. No. I mean, we're not children here. I grew up in an age where the Patriots were not a good football team, where we did get smacked around, where I did have to deal with the New York Sack Exchange, and then all that garbage they pulled up in Buffalo when they invented the hurry up offense and did just gimmick. Yeah, it's a gimmick. Okay. I get it all the time. Why do the Patriots have to run no huddle? Well, you guys invented it. We just made it better.
True.
And
you've had more success with it.
Yep.
You've had
a tad bit more.
You've had a tad bit more success with that.
Nobody went wide right, so we got six.
No. And I loved watching Jim Kelly and the boys back in the day. I did. But y'all have had much more success in that hurry up, and it was something that became a necessity. You wanted to protect Tom Brady, and I totally get that. So you make an offense out of necessity. Look, the Godfather did it. Bill Walsh. Okay?
That's it. That's it. Everybody.
Bill Walsh did it to protect his quarterback. George Seifert took his blueprint and protected Steve Young. Okay?
Right.
Bill Belichick took that blueprint and protected Tom Brady for 20 years.
For 20 years he's done it. Get the ball out quick. Get it into somebody's hands. Let's keep the franchise upright and, pliable here.
And another quarterback who barely gets any mention, who was a big proponent of the hurry up offense. I believe his name is Drew Brees.
Yeah, there you go. It worked. Fantastic. It keeps what it does is, one, it protects the quarterback. Two, it keeps the opponents from being able to switch out on defense and get you into positions that you might not want to be in, and your quarterback's going to be able to, sooner or later move the chains and get you six. And it's a huge part of the game. I wish they were using it more this year.
Yeah.
But they're just not sure of the pieces that are around Tom, especially in front of him, the big fat guys. I can say that because I was a center, folks. It's kind of like the N-word. If you are a big fat guy, you can pick on offensive line.
That's the quarterback of the line. That's the quarterback of the line. That's the center.
That's what they kept telling me to make me feel good, but it was just, Murphy, get your chubby ass down there and hike. So
the ball. I haven't heard that in years.
Yeah.
That's what my dad used to tell me a lot when we would play catch.
Yeah, just to show you, I'm a hell of a lot older than you, probably, Snow.
Tom Murphy joining me this morning here on Snowman in the Morning. But it's great. It's great to relive some great memories, especially how the Patriots dynasty got started. I mentioned the Godfather of the West Coast, Bill Walsh. All right, and you could say Bill Walsh and Bill Belichick, who had intertwined and will be intertwined for a lifetime. How they mixed everything together. How Belichick took the blueprint from Bill Walsh and ran with it. And when he got his franchise quarterback, who was drafted 109, by the way, folks, tell you how perseverance pays off. How about that?
It's true. Well, I heard it. I keep hearing an argument, and especially this year. Granted, folks, Tom Brady's 42 years old. So if they're going to hand the ball out, if they're going to build, win one around defense, cut him a break. This doesn't. Excuse me. This does absolutely nothing to, his legacy is set in stone.
It is.
And what gets me is the fact that people are going around saying that this proves that Bill Belichick is the best coach in NFL history. You have to wonder if Walsh had stuck around, if he hadn't retired, how many more they might have won out
right.
there.
But
you also have to take into consideration the fact that before Tom Brady came along, Bill Belichick didn't win a damn thing. And he didn't win a damn thing with not one, not two, but three overall number one picks in NFL drafts.
Mm-hmm.
That was Bernie Kosar, that was Vinny Testaverde, and of course it was Drew Bledsoe here in New England.
Yeah.
And the man won nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. He's learned, he's grown, he found the perfect quarterback to do what he needs to do, and has done it longer than anybody else has done it.
That he has.
And they're hands down tandem in sports history.
Yeah.
But let's not get lost. You can have the best plan in the world. You have to have the players that execute that plan and can do it, and nobody else has been able to do it but Tommy.
Absolutely. And you said something that is so true. What if Bill Walsh hadn't retired in 1989? What if Montana hadn't suffered the injury? Says, remember, Montana had two serious back injuries, one in 1986 and the other in 1990 in the NFC Championship game playing against the Giants. Had he been healthy from those injuries and Bill Walsh had stuck around, how much longer would they have ruled the roost? But Bill Walsh stepped away. George Seifert had learned enough to that run. Okay, and not enough credit goes to George Seifert. He was their defensive coordinator for years.
Yep.
And then Bill Walsh retired, gave the reins to Seifert, and Seifert kept it going.
I mean, it didn't hurt that he also had another Hall of Fame quarterback, waiting in the wings. It really didn't hurt much at all. But no, you could have had somebody come in there and want to say, well, I'm going to put my own stamp on this, and I'm going to change. No, Seifert was smart. He knew what he had there, and he used it, and he went out and he won another title. And they people forget during this Patriots run that the 49ers really did this for 16, 18 years. It wasn't just the 4 Super Bowls. People forget how hard it is to get back to see title games, to get back to Super Bowls, to excel in the playoffs. And Niners did it year after year after year after year. And folks, we got sick of the 49ers winning. Everybody got sick. The whole country got sick of the 49ers winning. So they came up with the salary cap and said, okay, well, we'll do it this way because everybody keeping their play. No, we're gonna make everybody break up. You're not going to be able to pay your players and keep them. We'll find somebody else to do it. And things eventually happened. But fortunately here, they've been able to keep it going. They found people that'll do it for less. They haven't been in love with folks to the point where they're going to keep them past their prime and pay them for years of service when their production is not going to match what it was in the past. Exactly.
Tom Murphy joining me here during the second half of hour one of Snowman in the Morning, talking some football. The Patriots get Cleveland this week.
They do.
I wonder what the over-under is going to be for that game.
I have no idea. I don't mess with spreads or over-unders or anything like that. But I mean, it's going to be a tough bet though, because the way this defense is playing, I don't see Cleveland scoring a lot of points. Let me put it this way. In my prediction, I have them scoring 12. So it's going to depend on what the Patriots can put up as to whether or not that over-under number is going to hit.
I may have to bring you on tomorrow to do some picks with me. I'll work it out. We'll see what happens. Tom Murphy joining me here on this Thursday morning. Thanks a lot, my friend. Appreciate the time.
No, anytime, guy. Thanks for asking me on.
Thanks, man. Two great guests here during the first hour of Snowman in the Morning. With us, all you have to do, drop that email, snowmaninthemorning@gmail.com. That's snowmaninthemorning@gmail.com. Those of you that are watching on YouTube, A, thank you, and B, support the channel. Everything with the Snowman franchise, because I got a show coming out in January, will be on the Snowman Unfiltered channel. And I'm overdue for a break, but I will say that the new episode of Snowman Unfiltered will drop tonight. Didn't get a chance to drop it yesterday. I will drop it tonight, and Tommy Israel will join me to talk a lot of inspiration. Don't forget, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on your favorite app to catch the podcast after 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'm going to clean up the archives. Please give me some time. I'm going to clean up the archives and make sure everything is up to date. I will do that throughout the course of today and tomorrow. Now I'm going to take a break. And when I get back, I'll have my top 5. These will kick off hour 2. Then we'll have our question of the day. Snowman in the Morning continues on this Trick Down Thursday edition. Back in a flash.
Is Snowman in the Morning, where true sports talk lives.
Thanks a lot, Doc.
Next! Down the stretch we come during hour 1. Snowman in the Morning. And we thank you for joining us. I got a little something in mind that I did earlier in the week, but my thought changed on a few things. I got Chris Dietz coming at the top of hour 2, Andy Dorff coming at the bottom of hour 2, and I can't wait to have those guys on. Now let's talk some football, and we're going to do my top 5. I haven't had a chance to do this in a while, Well, I had a chance to do it this week, but I didn't execute it well, so we're going to get back into doing that today. My number 5 team is the Indianapolis Colts. Jacoby Brissett is playing well. Get used to it. Marlon Mack is running the ball well. Get used to it. The Colts are getting healthy at the right time. T.Y. Hilton has returned. Jack Doyle has returned. 3 capable tight ends, and they're going to have some fun this week. Indianapolis at number 5. At number 4, the New Orleans Saints. Teddy is 5-0, replacing Drew Brees. And you don't want to rush Drew Brees back, but Drew Brees says he has intent on playing this week. Let's see what happens. New Orleans at number 4. The number 3 team in my top 5 features that bad man named Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. And I had to be forced to put him in here because Aaron Rodgers basically tossed a perfect game of a QBR of 158.3. He did that against the Raiders, accounting for all 6 touchdowns, 5 of them through the air. The last one came on the ground. They beat the Raiders 42-24, and Aaron Rodgers has proven me wrong. I said he wouldn't be the best quarterback in his division. I'm stupid for saying that, and he's proven me wrong. The question I have about Green Bay is their run defense. They allowed the Raiders to chop them up for 170 yards on the ground. That would be a concern if I were the Green Bay Packers. But they're 6-1, and they're number 3 in my top 5. The number 2 team in my top 5, my beloved, the San Francisco 49ers. They're 6-0, folks, and they have the best in the National Football League, period. Let me say that again. They have the best defense in the National Football League. Jimmy G is getting his act together. The run game is terrific and dynamic, and they're missing 7 starters, and they're still. But when it comes to the number 1 team in my top 5, I've got to do it. They are the New England Patriots, the defending 6-time Super Bowl champion, have done everything. And they get the Cleveland Browns this week. Oh, boy. That's going to be fun. After they smash the Jets, and I won't say that team aloud. That's my top 5, New England at number 1. Game 3 of the World Series happens tomorrow night as the Washington Nationals and the Houston Astros go at it from Washington, D.C. 8 p.m. is the start time. And also, we got some Friday Community Radio Network and Arena Sportsnet Carolina as it's the Battle of Clayton, the Cleveland Rams and the Clayton Comets. That time says 6:45. I've been given a correction. Our best time will be 7:15 Eastern time. 7:15. I got to get some water. We'll be back for the second half of Snowman in the Morning. Catch the podcast beginning at 3 p.m. on all of your favorite apps. I'll be back. I promise I'll be back. Snowman in the Morning, back in the deuce.
Snowman in the Morning, where true sports talk lives.
Next!
Excellent.
What?
Second half of Snowman in the Morning begins right now. On this Trip Down Thursday edition, Chris Deets coming in about 60 seconds or less. Oops. Y'all weren't supposed to hear that. I'm sorry. But we have a lot more fun here. As I said, Chris Deets is on the way, and I believe he is here. What up, Deets?
Hey, Snowman. How you doing?
Doing good. Okay, I got to show you some love. The Cowboys won Sunday night, 37-10. But you made a comment when I was talking to an earlier guest, and I mean this jokingly. Why'd you throw Tony Romo at me?
No, I meant you were talking 49er greats on defense. You're telling me Bill Romanowski's not on that list?
Bill Romanowski, but
the real Romo. The real Romo.
Yes, Bill Romanowski, number 53 on that defense. Absolutely. What you got for me this morning, man?
Well, first I got a couple bones to pick with you.
I didn't do it.
And I'm getting a little irritated of all this whining about the 49ers. Nobody respected the 49ers.
I respected them since 1980. I'm just having fun with the. I'm just having fun. I'm having fun with the popular narrative right now. Throwing them under the bus.
No, they need to get thrown under the bus because on Trinity Gauntlet, our NFL preview, there was one host who picked the 49ers to win the division at a preseason.
Well,
so this is not a shock to anybody.
I know.
Anybody. This is not a shock to this guy who paid attention to football and paid attention to what was going on out there.
I know you pay attention. You've been on my show when I said the Niners would win the West.
These guys shouldn't be shocked. Nobody should be shocked at what the 49ers are doing.
Truth.
Because we could see it coming. Paying attention, you could see it coming a mile away.
Yeah.
That's the first bone. Second bone to pick. What is this criteria for your top five here? Because you left a team out and you put a team in that doesn't make any sense.
What, Seattle?
No. There's a team, they just happen to play in the same division as the best team in football. Their only loss is to the best team in football.
You're talking about the Buffalo Bills.
I am talking about the Buffalo Bills. And
well,
speaking of not getting any love,
nope.
Nobody wants to give the Buffalo Bills at 5-1 any love, and they want to put teams over them.
You know what?
Multiple losses.
If you're gonna yell at me about the Buffalo Bills, and I'm sitting there smiling as I'm talking.
I gotta find something to razz you about. But
hey, I understand. The Bills are on my bubble. I'll say that they're not far off from being in the top five. Hell, I nearly made it 10 and included them, but I started with 5. I may increase that. What else you got for me?
All right, I got another bone to pick with you from Tuesday.
Now what?
We gotta figure this out. You sit on this program, and nobody battled back to you. Nobody came at. I was on in the comments, but nobody battled back to me. We got to figure this out.
Okay.
Are you serious? The Lakers won't win 40 games?
Yeah, I'm very serious.
The Lakers could play LeBron and AD and beat 90% of the Eastern Conference, and they get to play them twice.
And I still don't give them 40 wins. Sorry.
And that right there, 40 is not that hard when you look at the bottom of the NBA.
Yeah, here's the problem.
When you look
by the bottom of the NBA last year. You gonna pick a bone with me? I'm gonna pick right back at you and smile while doing it.
That is the bottom. I mean, the bottom of the NBA is so.
Yeah, we know.
The two of them could play. Just the two of them,
and they'll still get.
And they could beat the Hawks. They could beat they could beat the Heat. They could beat the Orlando Magic. They can beat all these bottom.
You mean the Orlando? Don't you mean the Orlando Tragic?
Yeah, exactly.
The Atlanta Squawks, as a friend of mine called them. Who else did you say? Squawks. You said
the Magic.
Oh, the Miami Feet.
The Detroit Pistons.
I'm not gonna say my other name for them on the air.
You hate to say this, but the Chicago Bulls.
Hey! I'll draw the line there. Maybe. But I did say, and I will allow, and I hope you'll allow this. Watch them come April. They will be competing for a playoff spot. Bottom playoff spot, yes, but they will be competing for a playoff spot.
Everyone in the East is going to be vying for the eighth. The eighth seed. Pistons made the eighth seed last year with a losing record.
How?
That's the Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference bottom. After the top four in the Eastern Conference, everything is a joke. Oh, and I didn't even bring up the people that play at the Garden. If they even play basketball at Madison Square Garden
do
anymore,
they?
I don't even know.
I don't know.
I mean, but it's so bad. But here's the other thing that everybody has thrown out there, and I need a more seasoned veteran to help me out here.
I'm listening.
Because I've seen this all over the place. Anthony Davis is injury prone. When did he have a prolonged injury? Are we going back to high school? Because he didn't get injured in college and he dominated. I can't remember a time in the NBA where he missed a lot of games, except for last year, and it wasn't because of injury. We know why he missed games last year. It wasn't because he was injured. It was because they didn't want to play him. Did
you have a lot of this morning? Because you're on fire this morning, man.
I just got off work, so I'm
okay.
I'm all fired up.
So you're fired up before you crash. Am I right?
Exactly. I just made a Herschel Walker style deal and
really
traded away 2 of my shifts and got a 4-day weekend. So
there you go.
That's how we do it around. So I'm ready to go.
So you're fired up before you go splat right on the bed.
That's all I'm saying. I heard this all day yesterday that, you got to watch out for Anthony Davis is injury prone. And I'm trying to think, when did he have an injury that I should be worried about? I can't remember. I can't think of one. He's not injured. When has he been injured? He's not injury prone.
But why hasn't he played a full 82-game season since he's been in the NBA?
Because he's a big guy. We're in the era of. You could say the same thing about Kawhi. But we know what Kawhi does when he gets rest.
Mm-hmm.
When has he ever had to play? I mean, he never had to play full 80. They were never the best team. He was on the Pelicans. I mean, the Pelicans were fine with getting a 4 seed and barely getting in the playoffs. They knew that. That's why he got the hell out of there.
Yeah, that's exactly why he got the hell out of there, and I can't say I blame him. What else you got for me this morning?
All right, this pains me, so I got to slow down here. This pains me.
You have to slow down. What?
Yeah. The Washington Nationals are 2-0.
Yep.
And this is a shock to a lot of people, but if you followed baseball, got the hot hand.
Yes, they do.
They got the hot hand, and we've seen it over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the biggest, example of this was the greatest series of all time. When Boston Red Sox came back from 0-3
and beat the Yankees in 0-4.
You knew they were just going to roll right through.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't matter who. I mean, granted, it was the Colorado Rockies, but it didn't matter who. It could have been the 27 Yankees. They weren't going to stop that train because the train was going.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the Nationals have. And they've got this 2-0 lead. Everybody counted them out. Said, "Oh, Houston's going to go in there. Garrett Cole's going to shut them down." Nope. Verlander's going to right the ship. Oh wait. He gave up the home run and then
11 runs after that.
11 runs later. It's baffling. It's baffling, but at the same time, it's baseball.
Mm-hmm.
This is what baseball does. You take the hot team.
See, this is where I get to pick on you, and I do this in fun. Are you mad at the Nats because you're a Met fan? That the Nats are doing what the Mets should be doing?
Oh, absolutely. I'm just mad. I have to give the Nationals their credit.
No,
I
you're
want
not.
Houston.
Why are you mad? Why are you mad at that when the Nationals put a foot in your ass in the final series in September in Washington? Yeah. Actually, I take that back. You're going to kill me for this, but one of the games in September 3rd, the Mets were up 10-4. I went to bed.
And the Mets lost. That's how the Mets lost.
I went to bed on that game. I went to bed. It was 10-4. And that was the last score I checked, and I went to sleep. I woke up the next day, and that happened. What?
Oh my God! So that's going on, but on the good note, let's move on to better stories.
Yeah. So you could still pick at me, right? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I think we both can pick at this one.
Okay.
But the Fighting Irish head to Ann Arbor. And I'm saying this right now. If Jim Harbaugh gets out of the field alive, that's a win. He may not survive after what the Irish
Notre
do.
Dame's going up there and they're going to wax them in
Notre
the big
Dame,
house.
After what they did at after what Michigan did at Penn State,
they laid an egg.
Now they get the Irish coming into their house, and this is a bad scene. Michigan fans are already calling for his head.
They've been calling for his head for 2 years.
Ooh, if he gets out of there with his job intact, that's considered a win.
And that's going to require a win for that to happen because Notre Dame's going to lay 35 on him.
I think so. I don't see any way. But I started college football is already screwed up. They already screwed up. And I don't know how this happened.
How? I mean, Talk to me.
It doesn't happen on the Fifth Down Sports Show because we do our rankings the right way. However,
I don't do any rankings for college football. I know better.
3, 4. I think it was 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks. Well, first of all, let me ask you a question, and I'm gonna set this answer up. Do you know what the ranking is for Notre Dame right now?
I don't.
They are currently 7th.
What?
They're 7th in the country. Do you want to know what the ranking is for Georgia?
Uh-oh.
Some polls they're 9, some polls they're 10. Here's the problem.
Okay.
Both have the same record. So if you're looking at them and you're like, okay, both these teams have the same record, maybe we can get away with it. However, I believe it was 3 weeks ago, it might have been 4. 3 or 4 weeks ago, I watched Georgia beat Notre Dame.
Well, yeah,
I
did
watched
too.
this happen. How can you explain? How can somebody? I can't figure out how someone can explain to me. Hey, just because Georgia just lost to South Carolina.
This is why I try not. This is why I try not to explain it. This is exactly why I try not to explain it.
If I didn't watch that game, I'd be like, wait a minute. Okay, they have the same record. This might work. But I watched Georgia beat Notre Dame. That should count. It should count for something.
Okay. I'm looking at the top 5 right now, according to the Associated Press. From 5 to 1, it goes Oklahoma, Clemson, Ohio State, LSU, and Alabama. Anything wrong with this picture?
Oh, there's a whole lot wrong.
Okay,
with that
let's
picture.
go. What you got?
Clemson at
4.
What has Clemson done to get knocked off? Since they won the championship, no one's beaten them.
Nope.
And you're going to put them at 4?
And there's another undefeated team at 6. That's Penn State.
And it boggles my mind that people bought this narrative that, oh, Clemson's not as good. I had a very good friend of mine who also does a show with me, and we talk college football all the time.
Yeah.
I had him. He texted me on Saturday because I wasn't really paying attention to the Clemson game. He texts me and says, "Oh, Clemson's done." I go, "What?"
What?
He goes, Clemson's gonna fall hard in the game on. It was 35-3. And I'm like, wait a minute. What are you crying about? Clemson is destroying Louisville. And they fell in the ranking. What? I'm sorry, they didn't beat Louisville 80 points.
Okay, here's teams that are undefeated that are starting with 14. That's Baylor. 16 is SMU. 17 is Minnesota. Appalachian State is 6-0, and they're 21. Again, this is according to the Associated Press. Chris Deeds joining me to kick off hour 2. I got Andy Dorff coming at the bottom of the hour. You want something that boggles my mind? Why is Michigan still ranked?
I can't answer that question. We only do a top 10. That's why I only do a top 10.
Good move.
I can't.
Why is Michigan still ranked? Why is Michigan still in the top 25 when they've lost twice and they're going to lose a third time Saturday?
Well, once they lose on Saturday, we won't have to worry about that. They'll be out of the top 25.
Because I want Michigan to get crowned Saturday night. I'm a Saturday night game at Michigan Stadium.
It's going to be Saturday night in Ann Arbor.
So it's a Saturday night game, Michigan and Notre Dame, in the Big House, when they were supposed to their last rivalry game 6 years ago, I think.
Yep. And they brought it back, thank God.
No, thank
God.
Thank
God they brought it back.
No.
As an Irish supporter, thank God they brought that game back.
No, take it off the schedule because they're going to keep crowning Michigan.
Exactly. It's a win in our pocket. I'll take that all day long. As a supporter.
Why are you a Notre Dame supporter? Are they your first team, Notre Dame?
I call myself a supporter because I'm not a fan of Notre. I have no connection to Notre Dame, other than the high school I played for was Notre Dame High School.
Ah, okay.
And we were the Green Knights. We weren't even anything to do with the Irish, anything to do with anything.
The Green Knights.
We were the only connection we had to the actual Notre Dame is that we wore green jerseys and had gold helmets. That's it. That's our connection.
What were your numbers?
That's the only reason I call myself a supporter.
What color were your numerals on your jersey?
We were green and gold.
Okay.
We had green jerseys with gold numbers on our home jerseys, and our away jerseys white with green numbers.
You know something? There was a high school in Chicago that I did a couple games for. They were located in Niles, Illinois, outside of Chicago. They too were called Notre Dame. They too were called the Irish.
We didn't have any of that. But that's the only connection I have to Notre Dame. I don't have any other connection other than my team. My team. When I was a kid, my team was Florida State.
Ah, and I assume Bobby Bowden days.
And again, it was because of Bobby Bowden.
Mm-hmm.
2, it was because our youth uniforms. I played for the Guilford Indians.
Ah, okay.
And our helmets were the Florida State helmets. We had the arrows on the side.
Sweet.
Our coach was cool and got tomahawks, and we had tomahawks on them when we made good plays.
I was gonna say, did y'all get helmet stickers?
We were all about that. So
sweet.
That was why I was Florida State, and also I'm not gonna lie, Charlie Ward was amazing.
Okay,
it was the first one I ever saw that did it. And I was like, this guy's awesome.
Well, you know who my team is. They're suffering through a bad season this season, but I don't care. I will always love my Northwestern Wildcats. And you called it at the top of the season. I didn't want to believe it because I was looking through rose-colored rough season, and a rough season they have had.
Their schedule is just rough.
Oh, it's brutal.
It doesn't get any easier this week with Iowa coming in. It doesn't get any easier.
Something, if there's ever I don't want to say I don't expect it to happen because it's Northwestern, but then again I do because it's Northwestern. If there's a game that they were playing very well this year, that frightens me, and it's at Ryan Field.
Exactly. This is the one game they get at home. The one good game they get at home. So
yeah, it certainly wasn't Ohio State because we got smashed by the Buckeyes.
And the other big game, well, there's 2 other big games, but one I don't have to worry about. But one, Wisconsin. How about Illinois beating Wisconsin?
I love it.
You know what that did? Destroyed the Big Ten.
Yep.
That just killed the Big. The Big Ten was hoping for that payoff of Ohio State versus Wisconsin, and now that game is cheapened this week.
Which game is that?
Wisconsin goes into Ohio into the horseshoe
and they're going to get walloped.
And again, if they get beaten, everybody's going to say, yeah, well they lost it.
They're going to say
they lost to Illinois, so of course they're going to get beaten.
Yep. All right, I got to let you go because I got one more guest to come on today. But thanks for coming on as always. We'll work it out where I can get you back on Wednesdays.
Absolutely. Anytime. You know I'm always up. I'm always up for it.
All right. I appreciate it, man.
All right. Thanks, brother.
Oh man, always good having the deets on the show. I'll take